Boom. Starts right now, Mr. Rich. Let me know when you're ready. Welcome back, audience, to Urban Academia. Man, I almost said another show name. How embarrassing would that have been? But yeah, welcome back. Mr. Rich joins the show here. What's happening, Mr. Rich?
What's the word, my dog?
Word is the word. Like, what was that? What am I thinking? Bird is the word. That's all I was thinking about. But yeah, man. I'm looking at your messages over here. Yeah, man. How goes it?
Hey, man, just happy to be back for another one, man. Keep this show going.
That's it. That's it. So today we're doing a deep dive on Young Dolph, of course, acclaimed rapper who was tragically murdered in his hometown of Memphis, if I'm not mistaken. There, but this is why we have the this is why we have the oh shoot, I see that different spelling. Okay, this is why we have you on to kind of break these sort of things down, man. So tell people a little bit about what's going on with this Young Dolph thing. I guess from the beginning. Not the beginning, but what actually happened, and then your thoughts on that.
Right. Well, first off, rest in peace to Young Dolph, Adolph Thornton. He's a resident of Memphis, South Memphis to be exact, Castalia area. Pass through there actually quite often now that I drive these trucks. He was gunned down at a cookie store, Makita's Cookies, which is on Airways Avenue up there. Uh, and that's the basic story. If you are not from there and don't know anything about it, you know what I mean. Now, if you're from there and you know anything about it, it's weird. Off the top, being that Dolph is a very rich man, you know. And not saying that when you're a rich man, nobody can put hands on you, but uh, generally things are pre-planned and done for a reason. When a rich man just turn up dead like that, it don't usually just happen senselessly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Shit does happen, but especially nowadays with this internet and shit, like you got to be careful what you're doing because there's too many people watching. You're doing a lot of shit publicly that everybody knows about because it's in this music, it's in these videos. Not only is it in this music and these videos, but people just talking in general. You know what I mean? So the all your shit is out there. You know what I mean? So you kind of got to watch what you're doing. But anyway, this killing happened basically in his neighborhood. You know what I mean? Happened in South Memphis. You know what I mean? He has people that you know he has known altercations or beefs or whatever you want to call them with, but these people don't be in the same parts of towns, and everybody know that. Everybody know which sides of towns everybody be on, and uh, everybody know where everybody live. A lot of this shit is well known. They don't even try to hide it, you know. Um, but generally, you don't expect something like that to happen in whatever you call home. Especially if you feed in the neighborhood like that. Now, if you just a random nigga in the neighborhood and you do nothing for the neighborhood and the neighborhood does nothing for you, I don't know what to tell you to expect, But this man was a philanthropist, so to speak. You know what I mean? Employed a lot of the community, privately backed a lot of the community, owned a lot of the community. Uh, so he, whether people talked about it or not, which people often talk about whether celebrities give back. You know what I mean? He definitely, I would say, was in the business of giving back, even if it benefited himself. But that's business. That's what you should do. He didn't go to some white community and do it all. He did it in his community. That's what you're supposed to do.
But what do you
Um,
mean by even if it benefited himself? Like we
well,
talking about
he
like tax
he he he
cutoffs
owned a
or
lot of properties. He owned like 100 properties, 100 plus properties in the city of Memphis. You know what I mean? And that's not something that was highly spoken of, but it's definitely a fact. You know what I mean? So, with all of this shit, a lot of the bullshit gets focused on, you know what I mean? But there was a lot of real shit happening. And everything's cloudy because of the internet, right? So you got very highly unlikely name, right? You got fucking Soldier Boy, which is, man, if I could talk to this nigga, I wish I could talk to this nigga because I don't know what the fuck he going through or what he's high on or what. But I remember you, nigga, and we all liked you. Let me take that back. You was like the Spice Girls. I
Oh
ain't gonna say
man.
we all liked you, but we all knew of you. You feel me? And you
Right.
got a certain respect from that, you know. And then you grew up and you know changed a little bit in this, and we could deal with some of them changes. We brush them off, but this new nigga you done turned it. And I know some people like that, and some people may even look at me like that because I went through some things in my life where, some people weren't aware of, and it changed my
Mm.
circumstance and sort of changed who I was. But there's a way to go too far. You know what I mean? And I'm watching him, and he's getting caught up in some shit that he ain't gonna be able to deal with. Number one, he's taking on two different people's personas. I don't know if anybody else can tell, but me personally, I'm a fan of this whole little music industry bullshit, whatever. And I watch it. I listen to it. I'm in this truck a lot, so I pay a lot of attention to different shit, right? So I know that one of the personas he's taking on, which is gonna bite him dead in his ass, just like it did him, is that colorful hair, rainbow hair cat Takashi, tell on him 6ix9ine. Uh,
Got you.
and number one, that's not good for the culture, period, because we all know how that worked and how that panned out and whatever. If you're not a part of that culture that you're speaking on, bottom line, shut the fuck up. That's just how that works. You don't have to speak on it. Just let the
Mm.
shit ride. You know what I mean? He wasn't a part of that. He badly wanted to be a part of that. Kept opening his mouth till he was a part of it, and they took his ass to the feds, and he had to tell on niggas to get out of it. Now, Soldier Boy about to do the same shit, because he on the internet doing this gangster shit, and he done some shit in the past that some of us that know about this shit know about, right? Because he
Mm.
played this whole Fruit Street Paru shit one time in California, and nigga called him out about it. But anybody who know about this situation know something happened to that boy a little while later. So you ain't got to be no gangster. You just got to have a little bit of money and be willing to pay a wolf that is. You feel me? So Soldier Boy ain't stupid. He can do that, and he'll do that. And people know if they know, he'll do that. But
Wait, is that the
that's
second persona?
that's no, that's not the second persona.
Okay.
The second persona is a guy out of Dallas. You understand? Soldier Boy from Atlanta, and I ain't gonna say, ain't nobody from Atlanta no hoe and nothing like that. But y'all not living like they living out there in Dallas with them, boys that they portraying this is living at. They from out there where you from. They these them Oak Cliff boys. These
Oak
them
Cliff.
yeah, these them DFW boys. These them North Dallas boys. They not living like niggas in Atlanta living. And if they living like niggas in Atlanta living, they living like niggas used to live in the Bluff. And that's not a big area, and there's not a lot of that shit happening. You know what I mean? But there, this shit is all over the place, and these niggas got just open gunplay everywhere. Everybody else just now getting open gun laws. Them niggas been carrying. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Not only that, but you got to realize they right next to the border. You know what I mean? There's a lot of shit going on around there. So it's just not the same type of life. You know what I mean? But he's emulating the character Go Yayo, which I'm spotlighting him, and a lot of people don't know who the fuck that is. But if you go
Wait,
look
that's the
up
second one?
Go Yayo, you go look up Go Yayo right now. He's even trying to look like this nigga. Go Yayo grew his hair out and braided it a certain way. This nigga's done that. And now everything he talks about is murder this, murder that, slide on this, shoot that. And nigga, we know you ain't like that. So it's just weird to hear you talk like the average nigga watching this would put their hands on you and you wouldn't do a motherfucking thing about it. And we know that. So it's just weird to hear you talking all this slide and this and that. And then this shit happening behind it. Nigga, you gonna cause something to yourself that you can't slow down and you can't stop. Because at the end of the day, you just a little boy to most of these people. To most people, shit. You my age and you just a little boy to me. You know what I mean? And it's because you hop about the bed with your swag on. Like we was two different kind of niggas. We've been two different kind of niggas all our lives, and we always will be. That's no shot on you, but it is
Mm.
what it is. You know what I mean? And you need to stop that. Before that real shit you talking, You know that you get to talking that gangster shit. That's how you bring shooters out. That's how you start that murder shit. You need to stop that. You know. But
Sorry, look,
it's
hold
it's
on.
it's
Let me do some cleaning up here.
yeah.
One, because I'm getting some notifications here that for whatever reason the link is not working. Usually we what you can do is copy and paste that if you want to come on and join the conversation. You can do so video, you can do so audio only, but whatever it is, the click link isn't working, but try to copy and paste it, and I think that should do it. The other thing, our music just came on. That's my mistake as well. But sorry to break that up, but please continue.
It's all good. It's all good. But continuing. Like I said, he was. For one, Soldier Boy was where we was at, and him emulating these characters, but these characters ain't like you. So number one, stop that. Matter of fact, the nigga that we talking about is not even like that. Anybody that's watching, you know what I mean? And I love music. I love some of his music. Not love it, but you know what I mean? Respect music. I like music. So anybody that likes music might understand what I mean when you listen to it, right? He's decent. He's good at the craft that he's doing, like the lane that he's running in. Although I don't necessarily respect that lane so much, he's doing a good job in it. And this shit is entertainment, right? But these niggas take this shit past entertainment at this point. They say something on the record and somebody's feelings get hurt, or not even on the record. Just talking on these lives. Say something on there and somebody's feelings get hurt. Next thing you know, it's real gunplay happening. You know what I mean? And ain't shit happening. You niggas is shooting shit and doing all. Matter of fact, y'all ain't even shooting shit. You're just sending niggas to shoot shit. Like you niggas are. That's not it. That's not it. And that's forwarding the culture into some more bullshit. But anyway, that's who he's emulating. And if you even check out that nigga, when I look at that nigga, he give me funny vibes. He give me LGT whatever vibes.
Oh,
You know what I
funny.
mean? Like,
Got you.
yeah. You
Are we
just have to
talking about
watch the
Soldier Boy
videos.
here?
Nah. The guy that he's emulating, which is Go Yayo, who's supposed to be
Oh
the
yeah,
gangster, which,
yeah.
I've seen him interact in some different situations, right? So I know, okay, that's about his character, right? But I also got to be honest and say, when I watch the nigga move and interact with his people, he also come off a little funny to me too. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's a weird nigga to emulate. But
But in 2021, is that relevant? You know what I
to
mean?
me, when discussing gangster shit, totally. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Although that has changed as well. Like you got niggas who
I'll
are
say,
total just out there, but they'll tell you, yeah, this is what I do. But to me, that ain't it, and it ain't never gonna be. I don't give a shit what anybody else. I'm on Boosie's side with that. You know what I mean? I call me what you will. There's got to be people who gonna speak like this, and there's got to be people who gonna speak like that. I ain't mad at you over there, but you're not gonna change me over here. So that just is what it is.
right.
But
No, I'm saying in the sense that there are some people a part of the LGBTQ plus community who still run up on you, who still will fight you.
oh, for
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure, I got family members, dog, that I wouldn't advise you to just run up to them talking no shit. They're gonna lay you down and
Right.
punch you in your face.
Well,
You know what I mean?
that's what I meant by is it relevant? Because if you, it don't matter
Yeah,
what your
but
sexual orientation is.
they're
If
not,
you,
they do not portray the gangster persona. They have never said out their mouth one time, I am a
mm,
gangster, or I'm trying to be a gangster, or I'm involving myself in gangster shit. There's a civilian lane and there's a lane for niggas that is doing that gangster shit. Now,
right,
if you're a civilian, you stay your ass over there in that civilian lane, which is what Soldier Boy should be doing, but that's not what he's doing. He's putting himself in his gangster lane. So when something happens
mm,
to him, nobody's gonna be able to cry wolf or feel for him or any of that shit. He did a live where he was, feeling insulted about a billboard and a Lamborghini, some stupid shit. Soldier Boy's claims to fame is like he's the first person to do things, right? So if somebody else says they first, he got to jump out and say he first. All right, whatever, nigga, that's cool. You've been doing that for years. It's been getting you publicity. Cool, keep doing that, right?
right.
But don't do it to the point where you talking about gunplay and putting money on somebody's head, especially somebody's head that's respected. When it come down to Dolph and you, nigga, a regular nigga will knock you off on the count of Dolph because he really had respect. You understand? You, however, yeah, I don't even need to finish that statement. You understand? So
So
you really need to stop.
going back to Dolph, right? I'm trying to figure out where does Soldier Boy actually
So this is
sort of
where we
tie
were going
into
with
all
it, right?
this. Right, right.
He
Wait,
did a
wait,
live,
just to make sure I'm still with you, right? You're saying he's
yeah.
got two personas, Takeshi 69. We're talking about
Hmm.
Soldier Boy. He's
Hmm.
kind of blending Takeshi 69 and Go Yayo. Is
Hmm.
that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now, what is he doing that's so egregious towards Young Dolph and his legacy, or what is he saying? What's he talking about now?
Now, first, he really wasn't doing anything. He was being the asshole he's become here lately, but he wasn't
Mhm.
bothering them. You know, one of Dolph's artists said something about him being the first to have a certain type of billboard. It was a 3D billboard with a
Mhm.
Lamborghini on it. Soldier Boy looked like he was high out his mind, jumps on the live and debates this and says he was the first and this and this. Some shit nobody cares about. But whatever. That's how
Right,
he's keeping
right.
himself relevant. You know what I mean?
Well, first of all, I
So
care deeply about 3D billboards, man. That sounds fantastic.
hey, it was actually the billboard was dope as shit. You know what I mean? The
It's
billboard
not
was dope as
the
shit. But
billboard, right?
but at the end of the
Very
day,
true.
somebody lost their life behind the comments that started here, or at least that's how it seems, or at least other people are able to hide behind this type of shit, which
Mm,
is why you shouldn't be saying this, because now he said this and now you're a suspect, but it's really three, four other people that should be looked at, and people looking at your dumb ass, and you don't even want that kind of energy.
hmm.
But anyway,
Wait, so you saying the billboard is how it got started?
that's how this conversation, that's how Soldier Boy pulled himself into this, right?
Wow.
So
Okay.
Soldier Boy jumps on there and he's talking shit about that, whatever. Then he goes so far as to say, why are we even talking about these niggas? Because we supposed to be talking about me and Kanye and our interview and this, and fuck that nigga. I'll put 100 ball on his head right now. Put $100,000 on top of his head.
So
And
wait,
if
uh, and look, you gotta forgive me, right?
yeah, yeah, for sure.
So when you say put 100 on the head, you're saying like hire someone to murder
Exactly.
him for money.
Exactly. That's when translated into street lingo, that's gonna break down to yes, putting money on your
Well, there's
head.
a
So
certain contingency of our audience that'll just be like 100 on his head. Like
absolutely,
that sounds
absolutely,
fantastic.
absolutely,
I want
absolutely.
somebody to
No,
put
that's
100 on my head. I can use
that's not what
$100
you
then.
that's not what you want to hear somebody uh
Right.
say.
So I mean, this is why things like what is it, urban dictionary exists, right?
Absolutely,
This is why we exist for the audience of Urban Academia. We want to make sure
absolutely,
everyone's on the same page. But please continue.
absolutely. So yeah, he makes the mistake, which I don't know where his publicist is. I don't know where his mother is. I don't know where his father is. I don't know where his manager is. I don't know where anybody who controls this money situation is, right? But he makes the mistake of online sending this threat after watching this whole Takashi shit play out, right? That's a Fed charge when you get on the internet and incite somebody to kill another human being with the money. So
Well, for
yeah,
some people, because it didn't work for President Trump at the time, but I see what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah, but he's the president. There's also laws that say I'm the president. I can break all laws. Like you got to go back and just. So for regular niggas, there's no law that says that. You know what I mean?
Right.
For presidents, yeah, there's a law that actually backs up everything. That bottom line says, hey,
Well,
at
it doesn't
all
back it up.
failure.
It doesn't back it up, but it's one of those long traditions that it's just one of those
But
things we
we know
just
what
follow.
it is. Yeah, we
Yeah,
know what
we
it is.
right, right. But I mean,
You
you got
know.
to go back to like Nixon, right, during Watergate. The fact
Mhm.
that he had to resign from the presidency, right, because he knew he was about to be held accountable. So, and that's one of the things that he got in trouble for is making the famous statement that when you're the president, it's legal. What I mean, which isn't true. So just throwing that out there. And when you saying, so we're talking about what's his face, Soldier Boy has the three, is in this interview, supposed to be promoting something, talking about the 3D and going back and forth and basically on air saying, basically inciting someone to kill Young Dolph. Do I have it right?
Yeah, what he did was, said some shit like, yeah, give me an address on him first. Anybody give me an address. I got some money for you. You can get all this money I got, whatever. Then he said, hey, I got 100 on his head. He said way too much. You know what I mean? So you put yourself in a situation, whether you was in the situation or not. And you are not the type of nigga to be in that situation. You're going to let Go Yayo get you shot. Go Yayo in jail. Uh,
Mm.
you're going to let that nigga get you shot. But, uh, And there's also, and not to, sorry, go yayo, but you niggas put this shit on the internet. So I'm just talking about the shit you put on the internet. You niggas are stupid. I'm only talking about it because I feel like this is a part of the culture you niggas need to alleviate. When I was coming up, we kept our mouths closed. We kept shit quiet. You know what I mean? Only Instagrams we knew about, we carried. You understand? So I don't know the same uh, ideals that you know. So some of this is to
Mm.
teach you, and if some of the lessons hurt, hey, I don't fuck tell you. Hopefully it stops before my son is your age. Um, but you niggas talk too much. You know what I mean? You niggas talk way too much. I've seen you say online that you were signed to Soldier Boy's SOD Money Gang, not as an artist but as a shooter, and I believe you because you just that stupid. You in the feds right now for running guns, selling guns, guns that are probably, got bodies on them that we're waiting to hear about, famous and otherwise. So you are an idiot when it comes down to it. You know what I mean? You got some great songs, some cool songs, but what the fuck is that gonna mean at the end of the day? You know what I mean? You just another dumb nigga, with a cool song.
So what's driving this to where I need to seem so raw and so real and so unafraid of anything that I'm gonna literally put my crimes, my personal business, everything out there? What's
Views,
driving this?
views, money.
Mm.
This is see if I get on here, and call an artist, that's up and coming or that's known, I'm up and coming. So if I get on here and I say to an artist, hey man, you a bitch, you know that artist has a responsibility to respond to me in some sense if I have a name of some sense. If I'm a
Mm.
peon or a nobody, he ain't got to say nothing to me. But if I make myself appear to be somebody or make somebody believe I'm somebody and I call this man out his name, it's his job to respond to me at this point. And it's not his job because it's the smart thing to do or because it's the relevant thing to do or because it's gonna do anything for him. It's his job because as a culture, we have made being tough a issue. You know what I mean? I was told by somebody, we don't pass down shit to our sons except toughness, and that's
Mm.
that's damn near true. Most of us don't pass down no money, no property, no equity. You know what I mean? No real education. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
usually just that. You know what I mean?
So we're in this weird predicament to where we're passing down. We're not passing down enough of the right things, and we're probably passing down too much of the wrong things, right?
Absolutely.
Anxiety and things of this nature, which I love how the Bible talks about the sins of the father will be bestowed upon the son, and the generations after generation. Like, it's nuts when you see it play out in real time in the real world.
Absolutely. And with that,
Yeah.
with that little thought being said, know that Adolph Thornton has a son, right? And to quote Dolph, Dolph says in one of his songs, when I die, my son gonna be a rich little bastard, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the case, right?
Right.
Another thing that actual fans know and people who follow Dolph or know anything about him, every year he bought his son a foreclosed property. You know what I mean? So that he could build up an investment portfolio when he's older.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it's definitely a true statement in him being a rich little bastard. You know what I mean? But these are the things that he was doing behind the scenes when was being glorified as only the bullshit. You know what I mean? The real shit that he did was never ever glorified, and it still isn't. You know what I
Right.
mean? Still only talking about the bullshit. You know what I mean? Right now we're talking about it because at some point we do want to see justice brought to his case. And not only do we want to see justice brought to his case, but we're very interested because we know as listeners to Young Dolph that he had a long-standing uh, beef with another Memphis artist, that being Yo Gotti. We mentioned Soldier Boy, but Soldier Boy pulled himself in on some bullshit, which is what niggas do nowadays for clout. He did that for views. The more I pull myself into this situation, I get the viewers from that situation. Now I got more listeners, more people think I'm tough. Also, Dolph died, so you don't know if it was me. I look like I got some a bunch of bullshit that'll get you killed. You don't want to do that. Um, but what's really happening is behind closed doors, the niggas has probably got something to do about it. Ain't said a word, not a
Mm.
word, not a condolence, not an acknowledgement, nothing. And I know from experience, when you got some involvement in a situation, you don't say a motherfucking word because you don't want to condemn yourself beforehand. You know what I mean? And plus, everybody already is looking at you funny because people know it's been 10 years y'all done had a problem. Not only have y'all had a problem, this man made a song called 100 Shots after his vehicle was shot up 100 times, and your camp is supposedly responsible. You know what I mean? In other situations where he was actually hit, your camp was supposedly responsible. You know
When you
what I
say
mean?
you talking to Yo Gotti camp?
CMG, Yo Gotti Camp, Heavy Camp, which would be Black Youngster and Associates. You know what I mean? All these people staying very quiet, and I think for good reason. You know, but now it's coming out that this internet is a motherfucker, man, and they say it's undefeated. So you better watch what you do on here, people. Now the actual cookie owners and the people who the shop he was in when he was murdered. Now they got these people on trial, basically. Looking at them, saying, are they guilty or did they set him up? They pulled all their documents and background histories up, and how much money they owe to people, and the motives on why they would set him up. Not only that, but the ties between them and other CMG artists. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of funny looking things here. The internet can reach, but at the same time, yeah, man, we kind of know what's going on, and some of this shit lines up and looks funny. So we're just waiting on some confirmation, But there's definitely people kind of know, who may have been behind that trigger, because they very sloppy. Whoever it was only had a few outfits. Unfortunately, he wore them in every picture he took, even the picture where he was shooting. They only drove in one car that they stole. They took 90 pictures in front of that car. You guys, you young guys, man. I understand you want to be relevant. You want to try to make a quick dollar. You want to, hey man, sit down and rethink some of this shit you're doing. You niggas is dumb. Niggas is dumb.
Man, and with that, hold on, So what we like to do on the show is we get into some deep, topics here, right? Subject matter. So every now and then we need a chuckle break. So I think it's the perfect time to take one of our 2 chuckle breaks right now. So bear with us right here. Hold on, there's that. All right, chuckle break number 1, man. I need a minute. Whew.
So you can be tired of driving.
Yeah. Oh, in case if you see a charge for $400, it's because I just got the air in the tires. So that was me. Just so you don't think I went shopping.
What do you mean $400 for air?
I got them filled. They said it was either I could get regular or the premium air.
Premium air, bam.
What do you mean? They have premium gas? What do you mean? I thought you'd be excited. I'm taking care of the car.
Bam?
What?
There is nothing in this world like premium air.
What are you talking about? Yes, there is. They said it was the right thing to do.
How much is a tire? A tire, how much? So you went and somebody told you that they sell the fuel premium air, and you took it and you came home with it. Where is the place?
Around the corner where you get your hair
Let's
cut. No, what do you mean, let's go?
They should take that, what is it called? They should take back the air. I will blow the tire with my mouth. What stupid premium air?
All right, man. That's from TikTok. Appreciate y'all in this ball that little bit. Yeah, man. The man
How much was the tire? How much is the tire?
But we like to say on the show, common sense ain't coming. And so he's really, but I love the balance he's trying to work with there, right? Because he just can't go.
I gotta learn, man.
All in the lady, right?
I gotta learn. He did it. Congratulations.
Man, he was just like, okay, like he's literally trying to lead her to common sense. Like
listen,
the tire. How much is the tire?
How much is the tire? Just the tire. How much is the tire? Yes, exactly.
I mean, did you see the light bulb pop on? He's like, what do you mean premium air? The tire. How much is the tire?
So in our tires right now, you have premium air. That's what you're okay.
Like for that amount, you probably could have bought some brand new tires and
take me there. Take me there now.
So okay, we left off with you kind of doing I don't know if you know this what is it, Dear White People? I think it started off as like a radio show on a college campus, and then it was a movie made, and it was a Netflix series. But you kind of did a Dear Young People sort of thing. I feel like
Absolutely.
if you know how you walk past the kitchen and like, something's
Absolutely.
brewing there.
I
Smelling
I
something
love
fishy.
young people. I used to be one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I did a lot of dumb shit. You know what I mean? I did a lot of dumb shit. So I'm not going to condemn you for being stupid. I'm going to inform you that you're stupid. It's up to you to listen and understand you're stupid because you're young and you haven't been taught. And I'm telling you, you know, some of you have been involved. Soldier Boy, you might have that Michael Jackson shit going on where you've been in show business so long you ain't had a chance to grow up. You know what I mean? Maybe ain't nobody been able to tell you, nigga, but you're gonna die soon if you keep doing the shit you're doing. And I hate to even say that, you know what I mean? But I'm watching you, I'm looking at you. And if I was involved in around this shit, nigga, I would have something happen to you. You should stop doing the things that you're doing because you're offending people that are really cut like that. And you've never been cut like that. You know what I mean? So just get out of that arena. You know what I mean? Do the dance and shit that you do. Do the pretty boy swags and the all of that type of shit.
The
That's okay.
ringtone.
You made ringtones. You made millions of dollars doing that shit. You're gonna die doing this other shit. But hey man, you grown.
Right. But I like that. I like that idea for even a segment on the show, man. Just old Uncle Rich, right? Dear young people. And there's this line of thinking, especially from public intellectuals who are out talking about a bunch of different topics, right? Where they talk about one of the biggest things you can do against a child is to tell them that, hey, you're fine just the way you are. Right? It's like, what are you doing? Like, they're not fully formed. They're not fully made. No, you should be striving to improve. Hey, I love where you're at. I see where you're going. Might I make some suggestions, right? But I love how you just like, hey, you're stupid because you're young. I think we need to maybe
It is what it is.
right, maybe we can
And
package it
if
better, but that's the
if
assuming that we
no,
get
no,
across.
see, because if he were younger, I would say it different. But see, he's damn near my age. And he's
Oh,
my age
gotcha,
doing
gotcha,
some of the
gotcha.
dumbest shit possible. So I have to say
Yeah.
it like that. You know what I mean? Not somebody who's younger. Of course, I'm gonna tone that down. I'm gonna water that down. I'm gonna try to give you a calmer, delivery.
Right.
Because I want you
Right.
to hear me. I don't want you to feel attacked when I speak to you. That nigga needs to feel attacked by words before he's attacked by fists and bullets. That's why I'm talking to him like that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because you stupid, nigga. And if you don't stop being so stupid, you're gonna be a dead stupid nigga. You know what I mean? So yeah, cut that shit out.
Right. What do you say to people who look at the entire generation like that? Because I mean, we know it's dangerous to paint with a broad brush, but what are you saying to young people in general? Like,
I mean, it's definitely, I can't say that, in broad. I'm talking to these young niggas that's doing this new wave of drill music, and they doing it from state to state. It started in Chicago, and other states have taken it and formed it into their own little style, which is cool, you know what I mean? But at the same time, y'all niggas is people being murdered, y'all are really boosting the murder rate. I remember Jay-Z said some shit in a song about boosting the murder rate, but he was just talking. You niggas are really doing this. You know what I mean? And yeah, you gotta stop because you the next one on the murder rate, Jack. You know what I mean? You can't talk all this murder and death and darkness and the nigga don't come try you. That's just life. You know what I mean? He gonna try you just to tell somebody what you saying ain't true. Like, yeah,
right.
nigga talk all that tough shit. I smacked him, and then when he smack you, it's gonna go one or two ways. Either you gonna do something to that man, or that man's you know, gonna take he gonna hurt your pride.
Got you.
When he hurts your pride, it's gonna get put on the internet. When it get put on the internet, you gonna make it your place to do something about it now because your pride's hurt by 100 million because
Well, what
it's
we talked
being
about
seen
before,
everywhere.
right? What we talked about before. If something happens and it's just a one-on-one affair, right? You're more likely to be able to talk that out, talk it through.
We might could deal with that. Yeah, we might could deal with
But
that.
now you got a group of people, or even worse, the internet watching. Right now, I gotta draw the lines in the sand and protect my corner, my pride, and my brand. so to
That
speak.
ain't new.
Right?
It's
It's not.
intensified by 100. You know what I mean?
So talk to me. I want to stay there for a minute though. Talk to me about the psychology behind telling someone, "Hey, you got to do better." When my currency is what the streets are giving me, right? It's the same idea. Like if I'm not getting that attention, love, and affection, whatever, even correction, right,
So
from
it's just
my
like in high
parents.
school.
Well, hang on. If I'm not getting it from my parents, but I'm getting it from the streets by doing this stupid stuff, this quote unquote stupid stuff, how do you change that sort of dynamic? How do you reach people who are getting that currency on the streets?
You gotta change the currency, and there has to be a reason and a time frame, a factor in why you change that currency, right? People have to stop accepting that currency. You know what I mean? Street credit is one thing to black people. You know what I mean? And why do you have it? For what? You know, I ain't saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, what the fuck did you do to get it? You know what I mean? And that's
Right.
what matters.
Well, just like any currency, it's the people who are using it who agree that it has some value. And right now, talking about killing people and then killing people has a great value from the scope or from the level they're able to view this as, right? So if I go kill somebody, you give me, I don't know what, $10,000, right? Man, okay, bet. And then I can use this $10,000 to do something else, right? But they're not thinking about prison or what if someone, tries to retaliate. Like, how do you
For
break
sure.
into that value system? Of if you do this crazy, ridiculous, stupid
First
thing,
off,
I'm going to give you this.
like we said, we got to change the currency. Meaning, we got to make shit. We control what's cool and what's not cool, right? So when you talking this shit, and if I'm playing it, and then it's cool. If I look at you and tell you, nigga, that ain't it, you're gonna go back and figure something else out. You know what I mean? I know that because growing up in school, I wasn't. I've changed many times over my life, and I will continue to do that. But there was a period in my life where I had a a certain type of arrogance about me. I think I always have a certain type of arrogance about me, but this type was unappreciated, right? This type was unwarranted. This type was directed at people that did not deserve it. You know what I mean? And it took other people who had a stronger mind than me, a stronger voice than me, were more opinionated than me, to speak up against me, for me to say, "Oh shit, that's not cool." You know what I mean? So then I changed the narrative on that. Then it was any time I would hear somebody talking like that, talking shit to somebody that couldn't defend themselves, or making jokes about somebody that ain't said shit to you all day. Like, then I became a voice for people like that. You know what I mean? That's what we have to do as far as changing the currency goes for that situation. You know what I mean? As long as we're accepting this drill music, the kids are accepting this drill music, we're allowing them to accept this drill music. They're gonna do it. You know what I mean? They're getting views and currency behind it. Deeper than that, you know what I mean? Which, a lot of these artists that are popping up dead, like the last five that big names that we know, hell, they were all employed by the same company in one way or another. You know what I mean? Empire Records. I would be wondering why these companies keep giving these young niggas all this money that they know have all of these issues, and then allowing all of these things to happen. You know what I mean?
That seems like day trading, though, right? Because you can be a
Absolutely.
long-term investor, going into investment. You can be a long-term investor, right, and invest in that person's future and the people that person is surrounding themselves with. Teach them the proper way to be and positive. Or you can do the quick sell, let the price go up, and then boom.
Watch this.
Drop them.
As a record company, they're long-term investors anyway, because watch this. When any of those artists that are signed to these contracts, when they die, do you know what happens to the contract?
What happens?
What do you think happens to a contract when somebody can't?
Like they have some sort of retainer to where they get a sort of payout, right? Like if you have insurance on something,
rights go back to the company.
Yeah.
Just like the car, if you die, goes back to the company eventually. You know what I mean? So all of that music, all of that shit that you got to put out, all of that, when you die, what happens to your sales?
Well, they move on to something else, right?
Do your sales generally, when you die, and if you're an artist, do your sales generally decline or incline?
Oh, sales. I'm thinking about molecular biology or something. No, yeah, no, they generally increase. Yeah,
Okay.
and that's any
So
audience or any artist
not only
across all genres.
do the sales increase, but since
Mhm.
these artists are high risk, they have 10 to $20 million insurance policies, instant payouts on their head.
Mm.
So you got one company with 4 different artists that's died in the last year, getting payouts for each one
Right.
and control of their contracts for the rest of their lives. All of these guys went platinum, double, triple platinum after their deaths, and these guys get paid for it, you know, and they don't have to do no gangster shit or none of that. But these other
Right.
guys talking about all this gangster shit died on behalf of it, and don't even get to keep all the money.
Right.
So to me, that's questionable in itself. That's kind of like we talking about the Rittenhauer shit, and I ask about the parents. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always gonna go back. Like, there's somebody else to talk to. Y'all are talking to these little niggas, and there's somebody else that need to be spoken to.
Well, or like the Travis Scott thing
Because
that's
somebody
happened,
put that
right?
shit out.
Right, like just like the Travis Scott thing that's floating around now about how much responsibility do the actual promoters and the showrunners, even though he did have a higher stake, he had a different title than just performer, right? He was one of the people who invested in putting the show on. But the only responsibility, the only thing that people are attacking is the artists themselves, right? Like even now, as Young Dolph is slain, oh, that's what happens when you're in that gangster stuff. It's like no one's willing to look past, well, it's a black dude with a chain, like yeah, that's what happens. It almost seems like getting a report from a war, right? Yeah, soldiers die. Like that's what happens. It just seems so normal that we don't typically look further than just the surface stuff, right? Black guy claims to be in the gang or do thug stuff, whatever, and then he gets slain. Like, yeah, that's what happens.
And that's real. And that statement is just as real and valid as when we have people go sit on trial for things that we know that they should be prosecuted for. We know that they won't be, and we're not surprised. And just
Right.
that same way, you know what I mean? All of that's fucked up, but it's
Right.
all reality,
But we can blow it up to the macro, right? Well, what's wrong? Well, systemic racism goes all the way back to slavery. What's wrong? Well, people with power don't want to take a chance in losing power over anything. Like it almost doesn't even become about money anymore. It becomes about power, right? Then we need to start shrinking it down to the little stuff, right? We can look at what China's doing, or with the shortages and stuff, and what Russia's doing with all these bots, or North Korea and all these test missiles. Or we can look at, man, I need to make sure my sons and daughters have something to do that's positive in our neighborhood, that's going to get them excited about first, and teach them how to properly navigate the very muddy waters of society, right? The idea that, where are we moving towards? Okay, we're moving towards coding, we're moving towards technology. Like, what can I do in my neighborhood to make sure that my family and my neighborhood and my little town or city or whatever, however big your scope may be, what can I do to get people moving away from the tragedy of Young Dolph and towards more of I hate to say Bill Gates because he's got all kinds of stuff brewing. I don't know what's happening there, but the ideal of moving towards something that's lucrative, something that can be passionate about, and something that'll keep them out of trouble. So that's what I'm
Understood.
trying to focus on.
Understood.
Yeah.
So first off, with that being said, I want to highlight that I totally understand what you mean by the name variations and the mindset variations, right? But I want to highlight that, like I said, as a culture, we only highlight bullshit. But Young Dolph had a whole nother section of things that we could have been talking about and looking at and following as a black man, as a black leader, as somebody in the community to follow. You know what I mean? We just took all the negative shit and talked about that, which is what niggas do. You know what I mean? Niggas gossip.
Right.
Niggas, this is the internet. You know what I mean? It's a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? You got some that are going to use it for good, some that are going to use it to spread information, some that are going to use it to spread bullshit and lies, but that's all a part of the whole that is the internet. You know what I mean? Without darkness, you have no light. You know what I mean? That's the yin yang concept. You know what I mean? So I totally get that. I'm here for it. You know what I mean? Every Saturday at 7. You understand? We're here for it. The whole yin yang concept in the show in general. But yeah, we do want to be able to get the mindset to shift. We got to redefine cool. You know, we did an episode about this, you know, when we first started, you know what I mean? It might have been our very first conversation we had on a platform, and it was about, you know, redefining what's cool. You know what I mean? Just like they're doing right now. They in the public painting fingernails and telling me that's cool. You know what I mean? They done took blue jeans and made them ass tight. They told me that was cool. You know what I mean? Apparently you can make your hair pink, yellow, blue, orange, and green, and that's cool. You know, so there's a lot of things being marketed and promoted as cool. You know what I mean? And once again, as we talk about, carpentry is a great position. You know, I don't know your take on the Bible, anybody listening, but hell, they say Jesus made tables. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But now you can do things like that and you can get paid for it. You know, and somebody is getting paid for it. Somebody is building these houses. Somebody is you know, doing all of these jobs with their hands that our culture is not willing to do anymore because it's not cool anymore. You know, ain't nothing cool except being the dope man. You know, and if you're not the dope man, then you just you're a civilian that just goes to work and goes home, and then that's not the end of the game. You know what I mean? There's black businessmen all over the world that do all sorts of things. You know what I mean? You was talking to me the other day about Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett did some of the most nigga shit I ever heard, which is go buy candy, you know, go buy candy for the low and then sell it on the block. And that was his first, you know what I mean, come ups. Like, that's some nigga shit if I ever heard some. You know what I mean? So the problem is niggas stop. Warren didn't stop. Not only did he not stop, he was warranted to some information that we didn't have. You know what I mean? So he took that information mixed with that hustle that we do have, which is that selling candy, selling whatever else, making that money come back, doubling it, reinvesting, rinse, wash, repeat. You understand? We know that, but we have to learn beyond that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of other things that if we learn that mindset in those things, we're monsters that they can't stop. You know what I mean? Let's learn how to make fucking the stock market cool. You know what I mean? Let's make the stock market cool. I remember a movie with Eddie Murphy and the white guy trading places. You know what I mean? Let's turn into Clarence Beeks around this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Let's make that cool. You know what I mean? You know, shout out to Bill Cosby. You know, look at him however you want to, but that man had a show that it highlighted, you know, black love, black strength, black integrity, black business. You know what I mean? And it had black people wanting to be something good. You know what I mean? Let's highlight that. I remember a show called A Different World. You know what I mean? Where they highlighted colleges and they said that HBCUs had the highest attendance rate over those years of time that they've ever had. You know what I mean? The highest influx of attendance that they've ever had during those years. Let's make that cool again, because that was cool at one point. Niggas wore African medallions because they wanted you to know about their heritage. That was cool at one point. We got to make that shit cool again. You know what I mean?
This dates back to let me see. I'm trying to make a note here. Make it cool again. We've had conversations in earlier episodes talking about that very thing. Like, how do we make blue collar work cool again? I mean, all these professions that look, which, I mean, if you look at Family Matters and all that stuff, right, highlighting some different things. Even Cosby, you know, Theo Huxtable was dyslexic. You know, there's a part he put that in the show to show parents who may be dealing with a so-called troubled student, hey, this actually may be what's going on. That can be diagnosed, that can be treated, and then the child can go on and have a fruitful academic career. Little things like that are important, right?
Absolutely.
It's using that propaganda machine for something positive. I think that's one of the great things about, Facebook and YouTube and platforms like that. But if used correctly, you know what I mean? Because there's plenty of Young Dolph and Oak Cliff and all this, Mo3 stuff out there. But what we are missing is, like you said, how do we make college cool? How do we make innovation cool, training cool, all these things, right?
Absolutely.
So, that's tough. That's tough. And again, look, I'm going to need a chuckle break. I don't know about you, but put the music down and have a little chuckle break. Be right back.
Say, my boy, look, we just passed McDonald's. I thought your mama said she was going to stop. I ain't lying, we just passed it. Who is that back there kicking the seat? Quit kicking the seat. Hey, fam, look, we passed Burger King. Hey, I tell you what, y'all psych me up talking about we gonna have fun today. Hell, hey, look, didn't see you in this car. Don't touch it. Look, this is what I think about this whole vacation. Look, right here. Hey, say Trevor. Look, Trevor, look, hey, never again.
Oh, man, what we got our kids doing out here, man? That's hilarious, though. So, yeah, what can we do to make things cool again? Like the programs, the boys and girls and the girl coding groups and things like that. I'm really
we need much more of that.
We need much more. We need much more. So this is the start of things that we're trying to get accomplished with our little show. How can we help our circle and anybody who may be paying attention to this stuff, man? And I think that's really important. But anyway, Chulo Rich, as per usual, what are we doing? I'm gonna let you have the last word here, and then we can get on up out of here and continue to be black and excellent.
For sure. Once again, y'all, man, thank y'all for tuning in another episode of Urban Academia. We will be here next week, same time. Also tune in to all the other shows that we're building on this platform. We appreciate you greatly. We love you very much. Once again, rest in peace, Young Dolph, Mr. Adolph Thornton, King of Memphis. And with that being said, hey man, shout out to 3-6 and and Bone for the versus battle, man. That shit was funny. Y'all niggas was fighting on stage. The shit was hilarious. Yo, all right, holla at y'all next time. Peace out.
For you. 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 David Ruffin limelight, this thing.